New Element already has ways of dealing with them.
Now the NEXT Assassin being picked up, another hero who is decent at being able to deal with a Slark. I think him being able to pick off enemy heroes is going to be a bit of a challenge here because he already has some of the tanks, Tree and Protector. Slark is not an easy hero for you to be able to pick off real quickly. Most of the time he should be able to get off his pounce to leap away, or even just his to be able to Shadow Dance away, something like that. So he may not be the best hero for picking off, but he does have a nice little AoE with his lane stun coming out, as well as just some naturally good abilities to be able to throw up against some of the spam. So NEXT Assassin, I'm not sure if I quite value him so highly here, but either way, this draft, I mean, it's looking like CIS are going to be going for a little bit more like a pick-off-oriented lineup with a lot more like off of the back of Living Armor, like the natural aggression it gives you, being able to dive in and that sort of thing. While New Element, they're aiming a little bit more team fight-oriented with the Ancient Apparition and Dragonite, now followed up with a Morphling pickup as well as their solid carry. So this is something that right now New Element should have a bit better late game.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it would be hard for CIS to pick up a hero right now that will make their late game better.
Remaining.
And I think, I mean, CIS could go aggressive with Tree Dazzle. It can work pretty well. But Morphling is going to have a pretty easy time farming. He's actually pretty good. He's really good against Clockwork because you can just, like, if assuming the Clockwork is offlane, you can just waveform into the Cogs with, like, Ancient Apparition extra damage, and that should be a really easy, like, lane for them to zone. So I think they have pretty favorable lanes. They have pretty strong push against Tree with Dragonite. Like, that's all you really need to be able to take down towers as long as he uses his ult efficiently. So New Element has, as long as they can avoid like giving up a lot early game, like making stupid mistakes, they have a pretty strong lineup right now. It'll be interesting to see with these last two picks though, like what exactly they're planning on doing. Because right now the lineups are both pretty open-ended actually.
Yeah, like for example, New Element, they banned away the Sniper, which would have changed CIS's lineup quite a bit. We would have seen more of a team that would have been sieging down some early towers. That probably would have been their mid pickup. We've seen the Chinese Sniper before, and it's very, very good. Like an early shrapnel, just taking down a lot of early towers. Taking that sort of map control away from New Element would have been a very key factor in being able to get the Clockwork and Slark kind of rolling in their gank style. So instead, we're going to follow up with more ganking potential with the puck now being by CIS, with Earthshaker going the way of New Elements. That Earthshaker, another greedy support for New Element. Ancient Apparition can be classed as kind of greedy, but Earthshaker most definitely falls under that category.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's pretty greedy, but you can also play him like really selflessly. You can just sort of run around and just stay super under-leveled and just make space for like your Dragonite and Morphling. Like if Dragonite needs help mid, he can just like go help him mid and keep them off of him. But I mean, if the lanes are as to be expected, which would be just Slark top with Dazzle, Tree and Protector, Puck mid, Clockwork off lane, and then like Nyx off lane, Tri-lane bot, and DK mid.
10 seconds
pretty much
remaining.
All of those lanes are favorable for New Element, and they also,
5 seconds
like with these heroes, assuming that like CS doesn't do something crazy that I'm not seeing coming, like Dragonite and Morphling have a stronger late game, especially backed by AA. Like they have a single core carry with Slark that gets severely limited by AA's ultimate if he can get a Scepter. So I think if I was on New Element, I would be pretty happy with how they came out from that draft right now.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, you're looking at it, you're like, okay, we don't have too much to fear in the laning phase. Like, CIS probably not going to be going aggro here, so they're not going to be trying to punish us at all. It looks like they are going to be trying to abuse the Earthshaker pickup here and still using the Fisher. So they're basically going to be making this off-lane NEXT Assassin. He's going to get a lot of free experience early on thanks to the Earthshaker Fisher block. So he's going to be starting out his lane really well, easily picking up level 2, possibly even level 3 before he's in any real danger at all. And so that's made even better. And again, the laning phase, they won't be punished at all for their pickups. And just going into mid to late game, I think they have more than enough to be able to deal with some of CIS. Like, for example, they have a decent little bit of pushing power here thanks to just like the natural pickoff of NEXT Assassin turned into the Dragonite push. So if they could take 1 or 2 early early tier 1 towers, that'll be a big boon for them going into the mid game in order to deal with CIS's very kill-oriented lineup.
Okay, I'm just double checking really quick. I think they changed Earthshaker's fissure so they just stand there, right?
Yes, they
so
just
this
don't
is still
do
gonna
anything.
be like, it'll still, I think like what he's gonna do is he's gonna block this, the creeps will stop moving, and then basically the Nyx is gonna get like a free perfect block to the tower, so he's gonna get the first wave guarantee. That's actually really nice, yeah. Like that's the type, I've never even thought of that yet. It's just sort of like the things, little things like that, but that's a really great way to use Earthshaker, like starting out.
So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty expensive, but well worth basically getting Nyx Assassin to level 2 for free, which is really important for Nyx Assassin. Like having both Spike, Carapace, and Impale as part of your defensive abilities for the lane is very, very key to your success.
Yeah. He could even walk back to the fountain if he wanted to, but it's not that big a deal.
Right.
So yeah, Nyx is gonna get at least the deny experience from all these creeps. If he can like pull them off and get some, that'd be good for him. Looks like Clockwork did the same thing too. Top though, he just clogged the creeps and into the side and got a pretty big wave going.
Yeah, double wave's gonna be coming in, and so Clockwork, yeah, like you said, the exact same thing. He's gonna be pick up a quick level 2. Middle lane's going to be interesting. Shiki playing on the Dragonite versus Inflame's Puck. Inflame already doing a pretty good job harassing Dragonite, but honestly, it's one of those lanes that's very hard to win as a Puck, at least win convincingly anyway. Dragonite should have some pretty good CS, and there's doubtful that you're going to be able to pick up this kill.
Yeah, I mean, Dragonite is actually pretty favorable. I mean, they do just trade for the most part, but you're farming a Dragonite versus farming a Puck, so if the Dragonite is doing his job correctly, he's coming out in that matchup.
There it is, level 2 picked up by the Nyx Assassin. I'm interested to watch the Earthshaker's movements. You can already see he's smoked up. And my thought process was, you know, at level 4, or not at level 4, but minute 4, when we have the first nighttime, Earthshaker will be an actually really good setup stun for going up against the Puck. That might just be a long enough stun for Shiki to be able to get close enough with the Dragon Tail stun. Now, he can't go for it just yet, but that is going to be an option. Like, normally you don't see Dragonite get a kill on the Puck pre-level 6. Usually you depend pretty heavily on your ultimate and having that range stun. But with the Earthshaker leading a stun, that could be a potential upset to the lane.
I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and think that they were actually baiting the courier there. Like, he was almost hoping that he would go for the courier kill, because they sort of walked it up with the bottle and they were hoping he'd orb for it, but I mean, at the very least he was waiting around for that. Oh, he's going right now, actually.
Oh, they got, well, at least they got the flame off, so Inflame is gonna be forced to use his bottle, but he also has the living armor as well as his bottle incoming, so all of a sudden he's back up to full health, and is he gonna be threatened at all? So this is Earthshaker, I don't know, trying to make some early movements, and I like the idea, but it just seems a little unlikely with a hero like Dragonite that you're actually going to be able to make these Earthshaker rotations worth it.
Yeah, I think you should just be more focused on like zoning out Clockwork, which you can't really do, but like just pulling through bottom. If they were just focused on killing the minions, like that's one of the things that teams sometimes forget, is when you're on Radiant, you can just pull over to the hard camp and really like get that Radiant advantage going. So if they, I think it looks like they might be doing that right now.
Yeah, smart. The answer is going to get the, especially double centaurs too. They actually have a chance to be able to kill all three of these camps, and that's a huge amount of extra golden experience that is going to be going their way. Now, the downside being the Clockwork is getting quite a lot of free experience in lane right now, but the same could be said of Nyx Assassin. Like, he's sitting about the same level right now. He can't sit as far forward as the Clockwork can, but the support's obviously not getting nearly as much thanks to the dire side.
Yeah, and I think that, well, I guess both team supports really need levels, but like getting an Earthshaker and AA farm, and just because of like their heroes, like for late game, like this trade is just great for them right now. As long as they're going sort of even like this, then this is what they want.
Good room control right now from New Element. Saw the double damage going the way of the Earthshaker, just making sure Puck doesn't gain any big advantage, and we're getting to the point where you may see a potential early kill coming out in this middle lane. Now, obviously, that's severely upset by living armor, and that's going to be a big issue, but if Earthshaker makes a rotation about the time that Cheeky picks up level 6, I think they've got a really good chance Just like the double lockdown stuns mixed in with that constant poison, like even Living Armor will have a hard time being able to keep Puck alive against that much pressure. So that may see that kind of rotation from the Earthshaker, but for now he's more focused on pulling aspect. And NEXT Assassin gets a good little pull. Again, always the advantage of having that Radiant off lane is being able to pull the hard camp over and get yourself another free wave of experience.
Yeah, you can't let that happen. So that's one of like the main things you have to watch out for as a support on Dire, just not letting them do that, because he just got himself almost a double wave. So and it moves the creep like equilibrium way closer to his tower too. So like if he does this correctly, which it looks like he's going to, it's going to basically be perfect for him.
Had little gank on middle lane, but Shiki very, very smartly brought himself a teleport early on and was able to just teleport away from the coil and just barely lived through it, thankfully. So first coil is being used and not much being gained for the Puck, just a little bit extra free time in lane. June playing really aggressive right now in his push forward into the off lane. Really wants to pick up that level 6 so he can start moving around a little bit. I'm really surprised, like that's supposed to be what the biggest advantages to an Earthshaker early on in the laning phase is that long range stun. It's why you see Chinese team pick it up against heroes like Ember Spirit, and in many, many ways Puck is similar to an Ember Spirit in that being able to have that long range stun and catch that hero off and just have that sort of leading stun in order to follow up with other chain stuns is a huge advantage. Oh no, June's gonna find the answer. He's gonna get nice and close, already popping that battery assault. Answer's trying to get away, but now he's locked inside. The just constant battery assault is gonna be able to burn him away, and first blood does go the way of Inflame, who snipes it with the orb.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things about playing Earthshaker is if you're against a Clockwork and he just like, walks out with battery assault and you basically are dead if you don't have someone helping you. So that's just unfortunate that you walked into him right there. I mean, it looks like they didn't really get any like vision up of that rune right there, and they've lost their vision right now. So that might be one of the reasons. Okay, he has the wards now, but that's unfortunate. Yeah, I think what you said about Clockwork playing really aggressively on it, I think that maybe if they, instead of focusing so much on middle, they should have tried to punish him a little bit more, because like what I said earlier, waveform plus AA, chilling touch, and like a fissure is just enough to kill. That's all you need, as long as it's like pre-level 5, but now Clockwork's actually really tanky.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Good counter ward being laid down earlier by the support, and Inflame, oh, that was a big mistake from him there. It's going to be caught out. Now the stun's going to come out. Will be able to catch Inflame, block him out, and a great return kill. They might have gotten the Earthshaker earlier, but that's, in the end, well worth it as the Puck dies in the middle lane.
Yeah, I didn't even see the orb. I'm actually kind of lagging right now. Did he just like orb and then not
yeah, he tried to. He killed the ward and then he tried to orb right away, and he used and he went ahead and used his I'm losing a phase shift right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just tried to phase shift in front of the Dragonite and didn't instantly jump to his orb like he should have. So ends up getting caught by that instant Dragon Tail stun. And goes down. Yeah, it's always the issue of connecting to the Chinese servers. That chances are you're going to start.
Show right now. It's kind of interesting, but yeah, it's fun.
You may want to disconnect everything. Oh, June may get caught out here. He throws down the cogs. He's going to be put nice and close up to the morph lane. The wave forms in and gets the kill.
So that guy has to be way more like cautious now. That is an incredibly strong tri lane actually. Like morphling plus Earthshaker and he can kill pretty much anything. So, and it looks like they might put some damage on this tower. One thing they need to bear in mind is that there is a tree, so if they're not like killing the tower, then the damage is probably not permanent.
Yeah, that means they're really gonna have to group up with their Dragonite. Like, this can't be one of those like, oh, let's just sit in our lane and like kind of AFK and let the Dragonite solo push in that mid lane, because that's never gonna work out. Not up against the Living Armor. Every single time you back up, the tower's gonna heal for a good 100, 150 health, and it just makes those kind of solo pushes way too hard. So they need to commit to towers when the time is right. Obviously, it's a little early to do that, but eventually when they do want to start taking a little bit of map control, and I do think they should start doing it soon, it's one of the big advantages that they have is that they should try and group up and maybe take a tier 1 or 2.
Yeah, because like we talked about earlier, they have a really good late game, and they can sort of be content with trading farm, but if CIS is like taking all the tier 1s and
Radiant's
keeping
top
all their
tower
tier 1s
is under
alive. They
attack.
can snowball off of that gold advantage. So they need to like, I'd say as long as they're trading even just one tier 1
Radiant's
for
top
like
tower
all of their
has
tier
fallen.
1s, as long as they're making like good farm trades, and then they'll sort of work out in their favor eventually. But they can't just let them have like all of their towers and gain total map control and just trade farm for that. So they still need to control the map and like at least take one tower, probably off of like a NEXT game, like you said.
Now, what do you think about Black's build here for this arc? And I do want to point out that Black is back on the carry position once again. It used to be that when he was playing CIS, he was actually playing a bit of support, but now he's back on that carry role. He's currently going for a bit more of a farming build for Slark. At least this is how I usually classify it. When you max out Dark Pact, right? It's a really good spamming ability. It's actually very, very low mana. They get caught out here, but had just enough. Unfortunately, Nyx Assassin didn't actually get in that extra bit of damage from the Vendetta. He had the opportunity to, but I don't know why. He just got a little greedy and Black was able to get off the Shadow Dance in time.
Yeah, I think that would have killed him. It still would have been really close, but he was at like 300 HP with the AA buff on him, so it would have killed him.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate. That would have been a very, very good kill from them. Yeah, I mean that's the only way you can classify it, like you said, a farming build, because I mean pretty much everyone else maxes pounds first. I mean he's pushing out the lane really well though and keeping pressure on their top tower, so it's kind of nice, but like he almost died for it, so he still needs to be careful.
Bottom. We're going to see Dragonite be picked off here, maybe at the cost of June's life though, but unfortunately Nyx Assassin could not get close enough, and the waveform will not be long enough to be able to catch up to June. So good pick off there from the Clockwork as a bunch of heroes make that rotation over and end up making it worth it. And that means a Blink Dagger picked up by Inflame, 11.5 minutes in. Not bad timing at all. Meanwhile, Black is going to be going a Shadow Blade, so he's just using this kind of farming build, like you said, to push out the lane, get a lot of early gold, and just get himself to his maxed out nukes nice and early. So he's got that maxed out pounce mixed in with the Dark Pact and can start moving around with the Shadow Blade. Looks like Morphling made a dive at bottom lane, was able to pick off June, and they may find another pick off here as they're going to start pushing in this tower. Nyx Assassin will be waiting for any teleports in.
Yeah, they just fissured him and waveformed him and he died because he was at like half HP. Yeah, Black needs to definitely, after he gets a Shadow Blade start, look at it, he's TPing right now.
Jumped in, double silence going to down. Black easily finish off the Nyx Assassin real quickly. Morphling's going to jump away, but oh, good stun coming out. That was a great Fissure coming out from the answer. So blocking off some of those heroes. Black is still in pursuit here, but it's unlikely he's going to be able to find anything else. So good initiation there from CIS, getting a pick off on the Nyx Assassin, but that was still a 4-man rotation to this bottom lane, and they also still got the tower on the side of New Element.
Yeah, the one thing about Black's build right now is it is very difficult for him to keep chasing. If he misses a pounce, like, he has to wait a long time for another one.
Morphling, oh dear.
He has a replicate though, so I think he might be okay.
Oh, that was so close though. Inflame almost was able to get off the silence in time in order to hold the Morphling there. And fortunately though, Morphling was able to jump away, and they should be able to defend their tier 1 towers. They already have the Dragonite making that rotation over. Looks like he is going to be going for a really early BKB build. Do you prefer this over the potential Shadow Blade build that he could have gone as the Dragonite, which I think is really effective a lot of times versus Pox?
Radiant's top tower is
I think in this
attack.
particular game, because he has a Nyx Assassin, that going Shadow Blade first would have been probably the wrong choice. I mean, it's not necessarily guaranteed, but I think going BKB first is better because their late game is so secured right now. As long as they don't lose horribly early, the only needs is a BKB so they can team fight, like behind Earthshaker and AA and Nyx, and they should be able to win the game.
We're going to lead with the weave, and that is one of the downsides of trying to stop these sieges. Oh, great silence. Coil in, and now these two supports have been in trouble. Fissure goes out. Ice Blast going to be able to finish off that Train Protector. June also going to be picked off here. He's locked in with the Nyx Assassin. He will fall. Dragonite still fighting up against some of these heroes, and great play from Inflame, using his positioning to try and finish off the Nyx Assassin, but unfortunately just proves to be a little bit too tanky there. And that actually turned out to be a really good fight there for New Element, as they got a 2-for-2 trade. At the same time, they're also pushing in this top lane, and they also killed, like, the 2 heroes that they lost being the supports. It's unfortunate, as they are supports who really need those levels, but in exchange, they got an support as well as an off-lane Clockwork, who was fairly high level.
Yeah, and then about as good a like fight as they're gonna take too. They had the puck blinking it on 2 in the back because they had a ward behind the tower, and that worked out really well for them. But I mean, obviously, like you said, the trade was definitely no one's favor because Morphling was free farming the whole time, so it was a 4v5.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And it goes to show just maybe CIS not really looking to siege towers so much, but maybe go for more of these pickoffs. But it seems like New Element are going to be playing around their towers quite a bit, and that's probably for the best. I mean, there's so much pickup potential from CIS that you need to be near your towers, not just for that extra bit of protection, but also the teleports in. So if a Clockwork is diving you, if a puck is diving you, you might be able to get that return kill at the very least.
Yeah. I think that, like you said, they really do just need to stay by their towers. Because, well, they can also sort of, either that or they need to be looking for ganks. They can apply pressure like with the Nyx and the AA, or even like smoke ganks with Fissure. Looks like they may be pushing mid, yeah. So like you said, they're grouping up and trying to take another tier 1 tower off of their DKO.
Trying to push into the tier 1 tower, but with the teleports in from CIS, I'm not really convinced they want to take this fight. Not when they're being the aggressors. I'm not a big fan of this. But they do have the Dragon form being popped, so they may try and go for it anyway. We have a Shadowblade double damage Slark, who's making some rotations in the enemy jungle, but he's not going to find anything as New Element are 5-manning this mid lane right now.
Yeah, and I don't think CIS are like 100% confident that they're all still just sitting there, but they are making their choice. They're just still pushing bottom, so they're forcing them out of middle by just pushing another lane instead of just waiting for them to push her back. They're making them make the decision, and they're all sort of rotating to the jungle with smokes right now.
See if maybe they run into Black right now, who, well, he does have another Shadowblade, and it doesn't look like New Element are prepared for that at all. They have just the counters from Maples, but other than that, they have no other form of counter vision. They're going to run into the puck here as Earthshaker plays a really aggressive counter ward and doesn't get caught for it. They had the Morphling able to jump in at any point in time, so in some sense he was protected, but I think Puck was just a little bit surprised to see that happening. And that bottom lane, turns out CIS are going to be a little bit more split push oriented. I think that last team fight kind of spooked them a little bit. And instead they're going to find the Ancient Apparition who's going to get picked off in the bottom lane. And teleport away, but doesn't get it. Ice Blast will still go out, but it doesn't make it far enough. It's actually just a little bit shy, unfortunately. And CIS will be able to get away from that engagement in mid intact. Well, it looks like they're going to try Inflame, just making a small jump. Nothing more than just harassment at this point in time. And I really don't see how they're going to be able to, like, without a pickoff, I have no idea how they're going to be able to get a tower here.
Yeah, I think Morphling should definitely be off farming right now, which it looks like he is doing. Like, he needs to split push the lane that no one else is in, which is top at the moment. And he is making his way to do that. The only thing he really needs to be concerned about is Puck. Like, as long as he doesn't get blink silence and blown up in 3 seconds by Puck, if he has a replicate up, he's not going to die. So he should be really aggressive with farming. He almost has his Lincoln Sphere too. Yeah, as long as he farms a lot and they hold like their tower, their tier 2s, like they can give up their tier 1s, a New Element that is, and still be okay as long as they don't just like give them up for free, which that trade they just had in middle was pretty bad. Looks like they're going on DK maybe.
Yeah, they're going to try and pick him off. They do have a replicant just sitting there, so Morphling's going to be able to jump in. The Ice Blast comes in, lands on both of them. And Shiki getting a little bit low. Black will be able to dive that, but it's going to cost him his life. The Shatter effect goes to work from the Ancient Apparition. Demons will be able to teleport away, it looks like, in time. So still, a great exchange there for New Element, as long as they continue to make good use of the map. And like you said, not just give up those towers for free. I'm so surprised that they did that. I thought with the way they were playing earlier, the way they were hugging their towers, I would have thought, you know what, there's no chance that CIS will be able to take a tower early up against this New Element team without some sort of major team fight or some sort of big pickoff. But sure enough, that's that's exactly what happened in the bottom lane, which, considering you look at the CIS side, they don't have the most amazing physical damage in the world, right? It's not like they're laying down a whole bunch of damage on these towers really quickly. You know, it's just a Slark right-clicking, and so I'm a little bit surprised that they lost that very valuable bottom tier 1 tower, which does leave the Morphling pretty exposed when he goes for pushes like this. Thankfully, though, he does have that Lincoln, so like you said, he's going to be protected from everything but the puck.
He's in trouble now.
Yeah,
just use that waveform.
Silence is going to be able to catch him out. The sun goes out, easily killing the Morphling there. Everything being blown, even the overgrowth. And in exchange, New Element aren't really going to find anything. I was hoping to see them pushing in this middle lane, but they just not really prepared for that gank on bottom.
Yeah, I think they expected everyone to still just be sitting mid. Obviously, the Morphling did not expect that smoke gank. Like, aggressively waveforming in like that when you're not confident where the other team is really dangerous if you don't have a replicate, which he didn't. So he just needs to make sure, like, the Earthshaker or the AA need to do a really good job at staying around the Morphling, at least like close enough to him that they can keep giving him replicates, so that he can, like, when he gets out past like a certain point, he replicates them and keeps pushing, so he can push out like 2 more waves and then he leaves before his replicate runs out. But yeah, that was an unfortunate death because he's like their backbone right now. Black is doing a good job, like aggressively pointing their map and just keeping pressure on them so his teammates can kind of catch up. And New Element is just sort of like, well, like, they just finished their BKB on DK, so they might try to look through something else right now, but they're kind of just walking around and they're all sort of trapped in like the death box, as I like to imagine it, like just between their tier 1 and their tier 2 middle on Radiant, and where they don't really like know where to go. This happens a lot, it seems like, on Radiant too, where teams just like freeze up and they just sit in mid.
Yeah, and you could see Black, he even picks up a really early gem, which was picked up by the Train Protector. So that's actually really big. It means, again, like you were saying, how they're just going to be trapped in these areas. They have no vision whatsoever, so they're just going to be constantly hiding against these tier 1 towers, as this is really when Slark hits one of his big power spikes, right? It's that he's just impossible to kill, and he has his maxed out nuke, so he just was able to finish up like all of that extra bit of damage that he has. So he's a big threat right now on the map. You can see he's forcing away the Morphling. Not going to be able to get this kill by any means, or at least shouldn't, as a simple teleport away will do the trick. And in exchange, they are going to try and take this middle tier 1 tower. The double damage being popped by Shiki, but I'm not convinced they're going to be able to do this, as living armor is just so hard to eat through.
Yeah, they're focusing a lot of time on killing this mid tower. They might get it. They need the Morphling to like be ready to get there though, and his TP is down, so he needs to replicate someone. At the very least, they can probably get it denied. Black is going to TP. No, I thought he was going to TP.
Well, they still get it, but a team fight's going to break out. Silence goes down. Great spike carapace coming out from Inflame. It's going to get popped. Nicely done. BKB being popped by Dragonite, but shortly before the overgrowth, so he won't be able to pursue by any means, but definitely what they needed, man. Taking down that tier 1 tower, I wasn't convinced they were going to be able to do that. I thought CIS were going to be able to mount a response before then, because you could tell Element, I don't really think they were looking for a fight there. Like, if CIS came in 5-man, New Element were just going to back away. Right, they were going to be like, okay, we can't take this tier 1 tower. But not only did they get it, thanks to the double damage and the aggressive play from Shiki, which limited the amount of time CIS had to move to that middle lane, but also just the very, very clutch spike carapace there from the Nyx Assassin, resulting in a kill on Inflame.
Yeah, that was just a great play from the Nyx Assassin. I mean, I think that might have been a little miscommunication. They just couldn't like decide what they wanted to do. I feel like there's been just sort of those disconnects between the teams this game, like when that bottom tier 1 died and they were sort of all just like walking around, like they smoke ganked into the jungle and then tried to wrap around on middle, and some things have just been going wrong for both teams this game that are sort of just giving little edge ups to the other team. Black is looking for Earthshaker right here. He might dive. I think he'll dive this.
Yeah, he's gonna pick him up. Pounce lands, and he will be able to get away. And it looks like in exchange, CIS are gonna try
Radiant structures are fortified.
This middle tier 1 tower. Earthshaker being a pretty important part of the defense of some of these towers with that long range stun. And without having that, I'm not quite so sure that New Element will be able to defend this tier 1. especially since Morphling is at kind of one of those really critical points where you're getting close to your next big damage item, being that shotgun. They're going to get wrapped around on from behind. CIS making the initiation. Nyx Assassin going to be popped real quickly thanks to the gem being picked up by Black. And now AO may go down as the Cold Feet may lock him in place. He gets the Shallow Grave, which will help him survive a little bit longer, but he should go down here in the Tier 1 tower. Black can take this one out and will be able to before the deny comes out from New Element. So nicely done, CIS. Getting a free little pick off there off lane in exchange for a support. On top of that, they got a Tier 1 tower and forced the Morphling back. A pretty darn good exchange, all things considered, for CIS.
Looks like Dragon Knight is going Shadow Blade actually. He's just getting out for his BKB, which I think is fine. Because like you said, it's really good at like having another like initiator that can sort of go in besides just the Nyx is good because he can be way more aggressive with his BKB. Yeah, and then Earthshaker also is very close to Blink, which is why he died last time. He needs, which he just got it, so that's huge. Like it's gonna be very difficult for CIS to push into the Tier 2 towers without like getting a pick off or having an Aegis. So I think that New Element, even though that last fight kind of went in CIS's favor, they're still at that, like we said, their like late game is just so much stronger. As long as this Morphling keeps farming and doesn't die anymore like he did at bottom lane, like they're in a good position.
Yeah, they're going to feel really pressured once they see this Eagle Song up on the Morphling and realize just how close he is to becoming a significant factor in these team fights. Like for me, Morphling is very similar to Weaver in that you get your first survivability item, but you're a non-factor until you pick up that second item. And with the shotgun almost up, June's going to get picked off. Here's the Ice Blast. Does land on him. Living Armor is going to be able to mitigate most of that damage, though. And a good blink away from the Nyx Assassin. Maple's a little bit of positioning there. I wasn't sure if that was just graphics or if that was actually true, but Ice Blast went a little long there and didn't actually land on the clockwork. I'm not sure if it would have made the difference, but seeing as Living Armor was mitigating most of that damage from Ice Blast anyway, but it's still just something you don't really want to see right now. Is Morphling heading that bottom lane. Puck was solo pushing that one out. He's trying to pick up a really early Scythe of Vici here.
Yeah, he's actually been farming very well, and they need that really badly to help deal with the Morphling. It looks like he's trying to solo him right there actually, which I don't even think he could have done even with the rocket. They're like pinging him out. I don't know what his plan was, but maybe they're just scouting him out. Once Morphling gets shotgun, he's going to be able to kill pretty much any hero on CIS's team with just like any initiation stun. So they can fissure someone, they can dragon tail someone, they can carapace, they can just like impale. Any of those spells plus shotgun will probably kill anything but maybe the Slark. Okay, they're spotted at BK. He does have BKB up though.
BKB going to be popped. The weave is taken away. Ice Blast is going to be able to land on 2 here, but it's not going to be able to save the Dragon Knight now. June, oh no, he jumped into Inflame right as the blink goes off from the Earthshaker. Nicely done. These heroes trying to get themselves away. A little bit of distance here. Nyx Assassin is going to make one to pop, and Dazzle will be popped on the head of Morphling. Black down as well. Echo Slam being laid into. Should be able to bit on that critical hero as it is on the deck. Try and pick up that one. Waveform comes in, but Black also having bought back. They need to be careful here as he's going to be coming back into this team fight. Will get the kill on the Nyx Assassin. Gem is on the floor once again, but New Element, knowing that Black bought back in order to be a part of that team fight, are just going to get themselves away and be happy with that exchange, I think. I mean, forcing Black to buy back, and they got some kills on the Morphling. That's a huge turnaround for them, and that now means Shotgun being picked up by the Morphling.
I disconnected right when that fight started. I saw the DK get gone on, and I just disconnected. So I obviously missed a pretty big fight there. Sounds like they forced buyback out of Slark though, which is huge for them. And okay, they're trying to pick off Morphling here, which would be huge if they can. He's being a little over aggressive now because it looks like he just got a bunch of kills and he thinks he's a tough guy.
He's going to go on Answer to start with. Vici won't be able to go out in time, and the Shadow Dance will protect anything else. They're going to try Flink here, and with the silence, oh, this could be big. He does throw up the shotgun to be able to protect himself and leaps away just in time to his replicate. Smart play here from this Morphling. Very well done, really especially the use of the Ethereal Blade to save him from the Slark.
Yeah, that was one of those awkward situations where both teams are trying to like gank someone, and the Earthshaker just happened to die first. Like he was trying to blow someone up with AA and Fissure, but unfortunately Slark was spotting them out. I think they really need to have. Well, I guess the Earthshaker does have a bunch of sentries. He's just Black is doing a really good job at being sneaky, like just sort of running around the map and keeping, like, picking them off in ways that they're not expecting. They do have a gem on DK now, which will help them a lot. They definitely do need a gem against this Shadow Blade and against Tree. Like, even against just a Tree, you need a gem. So that should help with, like, he's not going to have that situation again where he walks in with Shadow Blade into a Sentry Ward and dies before he gets BKB off.
That is one thing, is that CIS, they haven't done Roshan yet. Despite the fact that they've had better map control throughout most of the game, they don't really have a good Rosh-taking team, especially if nobody gets a medallion. Which I think would probably be like a pickup on the Dazzle or something like that, just an early medallion for one of those supports, might have been able to allow them to take Roshan, which is a critical part of being able to either come back or maintain a large lead with that extra bit of golden experience. So CIS, I'm not really taking advantage of that and still spending most of their time trying to find those pickoffs there. Going to be 5-man smoking into the enemy jungle here and seeing if they can find somebody, but most of New Element are sticking close together. They're going to go on Shiki in middle lane, in Flame. Looking to make that jump. And now they're going to find the NEXT assassin. Quickly popped here. He gets off the spike carapace, but it's not going to save him. And now good overgrowth coming out from AO, which will be able to hold Shiki in place long enough for them to be able to a dominating spree going the way of Black. Is the rest of New Element back away, and I don't think, well, no, they're actually going to go Roche. I thought they were going to go for the tier 2, and I didn't think New Element could stop them, but instead they go for Roche. Hey, you know, I was complaining about that earlier, so now they finally do take it.
Yeah, I think Roshan's a better choice here. They need the Aegis on Slark so he can just be ridiculously Rambo and to help him snowball. They need to be able to, like, to control. So you could say if they did push mid and then they like failed or the other team fought back and they got wiped, then if like New Element took Roshan, the game would be over. They could just like control the rest of the game pretty much with that. That last fight was basically won by Inflame. He made a really smart choice of hexing the Morphling illusion, and that prevented him from coming to the fight. Like, he just didn't anticipate that and wasn't ready to TP, and he basically walked over, so he wasn't in the fight because of that, and that won CIS the fight. So they just need to be smart about their Morphling illusion. Like, I've never honestly seen people that just put it on a follow like that on like someone that's in the front lines and just hope things work out. Like, if you're gonna do that, at least put it on like AA in the back or something. Yeah. Like, it's kind of awkward. And the DK also needs to be careful. I mean, in that particular fight, he had to use his BKB or else he would have died faster, but like he needs to try and save it until after the overgrowth. Otherwise, he's just gonna get overgrowth and Tree will nullify him.
They're gonna run into the Tree Protector. Oh, Tree just gets blown up as he rounds the corner, running right into the NEXT assassin. Black looks like he was trying to make maybe a small loop around, but New Element realized exactly what was going to happen and quickly teleport themselves out. Inflame at the same time is trying to be a little bit aggressive in the enemy jungle as he does have that Scythe of Vice. Looks like he's going to be heading middle, but not going to be able to kill the Morphling, just preventing this lane from pushing in too much.
Yeah, I think New Element's still in a decent position. This is anyone's game right now. New Element sort of had those like hesitations in the mid game where they gave up towers and they gave up a few bad pickoffs. So it's making the game much harder for them, but if the DK can farm up another item or two and the Morphling can farm another item or two, Black is going to kind of get to a point where he's going to fall off. The only reason he's even in the game is because he's been getting a lot of pickoffs. Like, he hasn't actually been farming that much, even though, okay, he does have 200 CS, which is pretty good for how much he's been roaming around too. But it's not like he's just like on a carry where he's just hitting creeps all game. Like, he has 9 kills, so if they were able to avoid a few of these like kills that he's gotten, this game would be way easier for them.
Yeah, just a couple of small mistakes gives away so much to CIS. I mean, they've just got such a good ganking lineup that they can turn a lot. They depend heavily on those kind of pickoffs. Like, they don't have a really good sieging lineup. They don't have a whole lot of great pushing power. They are pretty much all kill.
Middle tower is under attack.
And if they don't find those kills, they won't be able to take any of these big objectives Black,
Dire's top
oh,
tower
that
is
Fissure
under attack.
almost came out at the right time. Fortunately, Dark Pact was able to throw off some of the last bit of stunts. Morphling is trying to push in the top tier 1 tower. He's been silenced up and will be able to jump to his replicate. It's so hard to deal with this Morphling. Even if they do have living armor, he's just going to be a constant threat with constant split pushing, and he's getting to a point where his physical damage will be able to out DPS the living armor.
Yeah, he's pretty close to another item. I think.
Shaker, he tried to jump in order to get an Echo Slam, but he ended up getting phase shift and then silenced by the puck, and couldn't get off that instant Echo Slam.
Yeah, I think he's just being too greedy there. He needs to try to organize ganks more with like the Natus being jumped on.
Yeah, he needs to pop his BKB if he wants the hope of being able to get out of here. Dazzler gets blown up in the process, and Shiki will get himself away. So small turn of events there for New Element. And that's yet another BKB charge down for the Dragon Knight, in fairness. But Black is trying to like really aggressive and try and like force out this Aegis and force some sort of team fight around it, but he's just not really getting that much of an opportunity. Like they're just mainly avoiding Black, it seems like.
Yeah, which is pretty smart, because if they fight him and he has Aegis up, it's going to be bad for them. Looks like they're trying to gank this puck maybe. Dude, CIS is like narrowly avoiding many deaths right now. They're doing a really good job at it. Like that, if he got that off, I think they would have killed him. I think NEXT would have made it in time to. Yeah, he had a blink, so they could have just like A-ulted, impaled, and he would have died. They're rotating onto the Dragon Knight again. His BKB is still down for 10 seconds, so I think they're rotating onto the Dragon Knight.
And it looks like instead they're going to go for the next assassin. Sanctified stuff. Oh, there goes that shotgun. Black will be able to live through it, though. Echo Slam going down. In lane should fall here. They should damage and will be able to get himself away. Last hits does finish him off. BKB being activated by the Morphling. Now they turn on June, and that's good. There. 2 for 2, actually. As here, Shaker went down as well. Nyx Assassin did buy back in order to try and come back and be a part of these kills, but he's not going to find a team fight, or will he? Black is actually trying to go back in here despite the buyback, and they're going to go on the supports. Try and finish off that Ancient Apparition real quickly. Does have the Ice Blast instantly, though. Black is taken apart by that shotgun. He does use the Aegis, and now going to be coming back in. So I guess he just wanted to force the Aegis, and that makes sense. It was going to be going down here in the next... yeah, it was going to be going down really soon, so it makes sense that he tried to force that fight again.
That fight was still really good for New Element. I mean, even though Black had the Aegis and he was kind of playing like Rambo, he still stunned himself on Carapace with his pounce without putting up his Dark Pact, which really made that fight harder than it needed to be, because I think they could have just blown up the Nyx Assassin and gotten out, but it sort of drew out the fight because he got stunned, which was unfortunate, but that was just a good play from the Nyx. Oh, he just replicated like right next to him. Another thing though is New Element's been getting like they just keep getting picked in these awkward positions by the Gem Slark. Like, they need to realize he has a Shadow Blade, he's invis all the time. They were trying to bait Morphling mid there, and they're just standing behind him, and Slark just walks up behind him like, oh, there's 2 free supports here, I'll go against people instead.
Yeah.
Like they need to just be more mindful of where they are and if they have detection around them and if the Slark can get to them, because the Slark is at this point like the issue. He's getting pretty big actually. If he can get like, I don't know what he gets at this point. He's kind of in this awkward position where there's really not too many items he can get that will like allow him to outcarry a Morphling, or like a Morphling plus a DK. So he probably needs,
not
like,
unless the team fight goes for like 50 seconds that he gets a whole bunch of essence shift. Like most of the time, the quick burst damage of Morphling will be able to have a larger impact in the team fights than you possibly can.
It looks like they saw him run up here, so they do know he's here.
Yeah, Black's gonna run right into, oh, the Impale comes out as well as the Fissure, but they're way too late. And good reactions there from Black as he leaps himself away. Halberd is now up on Shiki, so again, just another small item to be able to mitigate some of the Slark's damage, whether it's the evasion or potentially a little bit of disarm. You can't rely on the disarm too much, as there's going to be those constant Dark Packs coming out from the Slark, but it is still just another small thing to use up against Black's very farmed carry.
It looks like they tried to go on the puck that bottom, and Flame is just doing a good job at like keeping pressure in other lanes that Black's not in without dying. He's constantly moving between the lanes. That ward is also spotting them out a lot right now, the one that's at the tier 2 top. That's a good word that people sometimes overlook, but having a Slurk is very nice because it makes, like, a Slurk plus tree just gives you such good map control and, like, vision and the ability to control the map, which is what they need in order to get these pickoffs that are keeping them in the game.
Yeah, this is a very, very close game right now. You could tell, like, CIS are definitely running out of time, I feel, because some more playing is like, now getting those extra items that you don't even necessarily need, but you're getting to a point where his shotgun is just going to overwhelm any hero. Like, even the Slark, who does have a lot of stats thanks to the SNY build that he went for, rather than... And I'm a little bit surprised he went for the SNY build. Considering how farmed he was, I really thought he would have gone for Scotty.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I think he sort of realized that he just needed to win early game very badly, and then he sort of needed to snowball off of it. So I think he was more concerned with just getting sort of early game items that allowed him to be a big factor. But he sort of almost overcommitted to them. Like those, he has every early game item and no late game items. So it's great if he can eventually replace all those with late game items. He might be able to take it super late, but at this point, he can't really do too much to those heroes. The Searcher could have swapped him out.
Yeah, they did find him with the hookshot. Does still get off that Echo Slam, which is going to be stunning up in flame. He will get away with his orb. June is going to be kind of stuck here. He gets good for his dash. He will be able to get away. Now Black comes in, tearing apart some of these other heroes. Morphling's trying to get away. Black in some trouble here as he gets a little bit low. AO should be popped as Morphling turns and throws down the waveform. Oh, Demon's barely able to get away on his support Dazzle. As the shotgun was not enough, actually. He jumps to the replicate and was able to get in that little bit of extra chasing power. So well done by him, and the rest of CIS will get themselves away and keep the tier 2 intact. So I still think that's going to be a win for New Element. I thought that team fight was actually going to go much worse, considering the way that they initiated on the Earthshaker and then got themselves out for the most part, but then the team fight just kind of raged on. It felt like they actually tried to turn around and commit a little bit more to the team fight when they just couldn't.
Yeah, the Morphling is just becoming like impossible for them to deal with at this point. He's, even with like all their spells being used on him, he wasn't really dying. The BKB was actually a really smart pickup, so he can break out of roots. He might even go for a Manta as his next item, so he has multiple things to like deal with roots and sheep and stuff, because he does enough damage still. Like, this is a pretty popular build I've noticed, is Linken's BKB and then just E-Blade, like, because you can just morph all your, he has literally no strength. He just relies completely on his defensive items and then just gets, I mean, he still does tons of damage because he's more full agility, so I think he might try and pick it, because Manta is like a good balance between defensive and offensive items, so he might go for that so he can break it, but we'll see. Or he'll just go for Butterfly. I think it's one of those two.
Yeah, one of the last things you want to do is be held in by that overgrowth up against the Slark. Like, you don't want to give him the opportunity to start stealing those stats. So being locked in place is going to be a big part of these team fights for CIS, which is why you see Black going for, I really like this item as well on him, going for the Basher. So if he can get the Abyssal, get that additional lockdown up against the Morphling, they do have a better chance of being able to pick him off.
Okay, they're trying to take another Roche.
Yeah, they're going to go in for Roche. It was revealed earlier by the Ice Blast from the Ancient Apparition, but it looks like CIS are going to try for it anyway. But I was going to say, 42.5 minutes in, and they finally got that Tier 1 tower. That Tier 1 tower probably took about 4,000 to 5,000 damage. Just ridiculous how much living armor kept it alive. New Element are going to try and jump in, intercept this team fight. Roshan's getting low. Nyx Assassin already being taken out. Black is finishing him off. June's trying to get away. Shallow Grave will be able to help him out a bit longer. Now the Slark comes back into the team fight, stunned up, gets shot. He did have that Aegis though. Oh no, the BKB popped a little bit late there. By the Morphling going to be held in on the Echo Slam. Doing a good amount of damage to Black, and he's already... He has to use his Shadow Dance to get away from the Dragonite, who's on the pursuit, trying to pick off just whatever extra hero kills he can find. But good disengage here from CIS as they get themselves away. They're going to lose the Terrain Protector, but that is probably the least important out of all their heroes. Black looking to make maybe a jump in on this Morphling again, but I can't say I fully support this. He's going to go for it, lands with the pounce, gets a good bash as well. Morphling jumps away with the waveform though. And that should be the end of the engagement.
Clever does move a quick.
Oh yeah, he's going to be able to find Cheeky here. Ultimate plays with the cogs. BKB is activated now. Potentially shotgun going out, but that was a really smart play by them. The instant BKB teleport away from the Dragonite, first of all, and then the Morphling just trying to maybe see if he can get a kill. If not, he just jumps to his replicate. No harm done.
Is under attack.
Yeah, that was a good reaction. The funny thing is, he actually was pretty safe there because that was one of the few situations this entire game where CIS has not had some form of gem or detection, and he was still in Shadow Blade. So, but he just like instantly reacted with the BKB and popped out. I actually did not see how long he had left on his Shadow Blade, but they're hunting the Nyx right now. He's probably dead.
Yep, nothing he can do. This one, Spike Carapace is only going to do so much for him. Beyond godlike spree for Black, man. This guy, like, he isn't dying at all, which, like, if he dies once here, well, he'll probably have a buyback, but it'll still be just such a huge influx of gold. Yeah, for a new element. I mean, you take a look at the gold lead right now. CIS are leading by about 4,000 gold and about 3,000 experience lead. But if they manage to kill that Slark, just the kill gold by itself is going to make a serious dent in that lead for CIS.
Yeah, so he did pick up a Manta. DK, I'm assuming, is going to go AC next. Maybe like AC into Daedalus? Either Daedalus or Satanic, but either way, like, they're just slowly getting their items that are making this game more difficult for CIS. The next Roshan is kind of actually what CIS needs to wait for at this point, or they need to get some really, really nice pickoffs, which they look like they're trying to do right now.
Oh, jump in, they found the Earthshaker. Great jump in from June. Answer's trying to get away, does have a Fissure, trying to block it out, but the 4-stat pursuit will be able to catch up, and there goes that extra bit of gold. 1,400 gold going the way of the Morphling. That is the last person you want to give that up. CIS in the process of finding a pickoff, get 2 supports but lose the most crucial hero of all, and now they're going to lose another hero. Terrain Protector, no, they have 0 vision whatsoever, so
yeah,
he's actually good.
The Sentry. They really need a gem. Like, let's see, can they buy one right now? Yeah, I mean, they just need to keep gems as much as possible. It's so good against both those heroes, but that was really good at blowing up the Slurp like that. He actually didn't get his BKB off. I was sort of spiking out, but it looked like the Dragon Tail caught him out without his Dark Pact, and he just got exploded. Yeah.
I think Black was trying to hold on to his BKB for a little bit longer. And support's going to be caught in the back as CIS makes a smooth little wraparound here, but unfortunately they're still going to be caught here. Actually, Clockwork trying to jump in onto the Morphling. Coil goes down as well. Morphling immediately gets himself out, and good play from Shiki once again. BKBing after the overgrowth, teleporting out. Yep. Signature.
The bubble hurts. But yeah, he's doing very well this game, even though he's sort of like dying a lot. Like, he's been playing his role very well. He realizes he's not like the main source of damage, and he's just creating space for the Morphling to brave. The Morphling has 6k gold now, and he's getting to that point where once he gets like 2 more items, they just need to contest the next Roshan, and he's gonna just sort of walk all over the other team.
Yeah, at this point, what would you like to see? Like, it's usually 2 items at this point. It's either Butterfly or Scotty. Right, he's
definitely
he's
Butterfly.
Yeah, especially up against the Slark with that Basher. It's those right clicks are the most significant factor for CIS right now.
Their whole team has actually decent right clicks, and then they have like Necro books and stuff. So I think that Butterfly is definitely the right choice.
June might get caught out here. Good cogs and 4-staff away, and the jump to the support as well. He still almost got caught by the Nyx Assassin, but June with a very, very smart coordination of plays there gets himself. This guy's a very clutch player. Like, it's unfortunate that we haven't seen as many big plays from him this game. It's just something about this whole entire lineup. With the Dragonite, the BKB, as well as the Morphling, he just can't really find those kind of solo kills. But every single time I've watched CIS, June has been one of the biggest playmakers for his team.
Yeah, he did really great in the off lane. Like, he realized when he could be aggressive. He noticed when Earthshaker was kind of leaving and roaming around on mid and stuff. So, I mean, that type of stuff works out great when like they're not there, and if you can recognize that like consistently when you have the chance to farm and when you don't, like that's what makes a great offlaner. So he played really well in the early game, and he's been doing, like you said, well enough for like the situation he's in. He has a hard lineup to like do stuff with on Clockwork.
Yeah, see, he really needs that Aghanims though. Those damn BKBs are rather irritating, but if you can have a lower cooldown on that hook shot, maybe he'll be able to have it up in order to interrupt the Dragonite the next time he tries his signature BKB teleport away. As right now we do have CIS trying to explore the enemy jungle a little bit, but New Element, they're doing the perfect thing right now, which is realizing that the only chance that CIS have to win this game is going to be with pickoffs, and as long as they stay grouped up, there's just little chance of them losing a team fight right now.
Trying to load back in. There we go. Holy moly.
Dire's bottom tower
You
is
dropped
under
out again.
attack. Dire's structures
Abyssal is
are
now being picked up
fortified.
by the Slark, but we do have way too much right-click damage going on these tier 2s, and now we finally get to the point. They are going to be surrounded on. They're going to try and sandwich them. Good phase shift there from the puck as he's trying to jump away. The attempt at a Fissure in order to interrupt Inflame before he can get away. Jump in from the Nyx Assassin, stunning up AO, forced out. Not really helping him out too much there, but he will still get out in the end. CIS, they're really good at being able to make these kind of, they kind of remind me of Cloud9, which is, for me, Cloud9, their biggest signature is the fact that they know how to force fights in awkward positions. They're really good at making any sort of like sandwich maneuvers, catching teams out of guard in these sort of clutch scenarios where they're behind, but if they can just catch the team off guard, maybe they have a chance to win the team fight. It's just New Element. They're staying way too grouped up and responding too well to CIS's jumps, to their initiations, to actually be taken advantage of.
Yeah, I think that's well put. The AA just finished his Scepter, which is actually a gigantic item pickup at this point because it's great against all their heroes. It's good against Dazzle, like I said earlier, Tree, and then the Slark, obviously, he won't heal during his ultimate, so if he can get that, I think he should actually just be looking to get on Slark, like that should be his goal. If he can get in on the Slark and then they can put any sort of damage on him, like he's going to be in a bad situation because he went such an offensive, like, damage dealing sort of speedy build with SNY and drums, so if they can put damage on him with the AL, it's permanent, and then he can't really come back to the fight until he backs out for a long time, and that's just too long for him to be gone from the fight for his team to win.
I feel that another Aghanims upgrade that we don't see yet, that could have been a really significant factor. Hold up, Puck does get the blink away. The Fissure was the right time, just so hard to catch out that Fury. Now Shiki is going to be initiated on. Tower is going to be denied in the process though, and it's likely Dragonite is going to go down here anytime soon. In fact, he's fighting up against AO right now. Earthshaker's going to get caught in the back by Black, and Shiki will make that teleport away. Unfortunately though, this time he has to deal with the bashes, and he will fall in the process. Now, oh, Nyx Assassin missing the spike, and that means he will fall as well. This is the domino effect that we did not want to see. At the same time, Morphling is forcing some heroes back to this top lane, but he's going to try and force more back, which he should be able to with his kind of, especially since the way he almost killed June there. But he's going to be forced back to his tower. This is CIS's big chance here. Maybe they can actually turn and fight this. They're going to jump in on the Morphling, waveform away though. Black's just trying to force him back as much as possible so they can port more damage on this tier 3. They've got a very small opportunity here, and they need to make the most of it.
Radiant's bottom
Melee
barracks
Rax
are under
focused
attack.
down now, and Morphling, without the rest of his allies, doesn't want to jump in. In fact, it's probably just better to give up the Rax at this point in time, rather than risk it all to try and defend something so small.
Yeah, they can afford to give up Rax at this point in the game. Like, the reason why this is happening is because they made some poor choices, so if they can just recognize that and say, hey, let's not let that happen again. But, I mean, CIS did a good job, like you said, of catching people off guard and taking fights in an awkward fashion, and they picked off some people and just kept picking them off, which is what their lineup needs to do.
Radiant's
If
bottom
New
barracks are under attack.
fights them, like, as 5 and against 5, then they should take the fights pretty convincingly, even though a lot of their supports are very underfarmed, but that's just the way the game's been going.
Unfortunately, Roshan, CIS were trying to sneak in a roast real quick on top of the melee racks that they picked up earlier, but the Ancient Apparition with the Ice Blast buys them out, and they won't be able to get away. So the other Aghanims upgrade, the Dazzle, I think, is a really significant factor considering most of your damage right now is coming from the Slark and his right clicks. I would have loved to have seen an Aghanims upgrade for this Dazzle. Instead, he went for the Rod of Atos. Can't say I'm a big fan. Pandago, what are your thoughts on it?
That's an interesting item. I don't know. I mean, it's not like Weave is necessarily a bad spell without the Ags. Like, the Ags just makes it ridiculous, but for the most part, the fights are happening so quickly that unless he gets like a Weave off and then they back off for like 5 or 10 seconds and then they re-engage, it's not going to be like Ags would have made a huge difference. But then again, like you said, I don't know if Rod of Atos is the choice either. Like, even an Orchid would probably have been more valuable this game, like, just because the silence can be really effective, because the BKB durations are starting to go down. Right. So, like, if you could catch the Morphling off guard with, like, an Orchid or any of those heroes Orchid is really good against, then that might have been useful. But we'll see. Rod of Atos can still pay off. I mean, one of the great things about it is it does destroy Lincoln, so I think that if he's using it for that, then that's probably the best choice.
Just requires him to have the positioning to actually be close enough to the Morphling to use that rod.
The range on that thing is gigantic. That's one of the major advantages of it. It's like he can get it pretty easily.
Has fallen.
Yeah,
Dire's middle
just
tower
hopefully he
is
doesn't
under
get
attack.
too close to that Morphling and get shotgunned down in the process. They did just watch the Morphling jump away, and if they make another play like they did earlier, where they sheep up the Morphling illusion, I think CIS can go for a fight right now. They would be able to take a 4 versus 5 without the Morphling. It's just going to require them to be able to pick it up. Oh, Radiant Courier wins down on the side. Black going to go on the answer here. Going to be able to pick him off real quickly. Morphling jumps in time. Great hook shot from June. Pushes some of them back. Going to be stunned up. Black, meanwhile, is just doing his consistent damage where he can. He just cannot match the Morphling in that regard. Morphling is currently halberded up, trying to do what damage he can. Overgrowth as well. And still, the Slark will fall. Buyback instantly coming out from him. And the puck will manage to get himself away, and it just goes to show, like, even when they do make all the right plays, I felt like they held in the Morphling really, really well there. They just cannot possibly contest this better late game of New Element.
Yeah, that's just having a worse late game. It's just the matter of fact of it. If they're not picking them off, like, separately, one at a time, and slowly just picking them apart in the fight, then it's really hard for them to deal with it. I don't even like slide showing so much right now. This is really, it's funny actually to watch it this way. The Morphling actually has, he has such high armor because of his agility that, like, even with Weave maxed out, he still has armor left. It's kind of funny.
Another Ice Blast is going to find CIS as they are doing Roshan, but they should be committing to it here. And sure enough, that's going to be Aegis as well as Cheese on the deck, which is big for CIS. I mean, they need some sort of big advantage in these team fights, and maybe that's what it's going to be. Is being able to have that extra life on the Slark. On top of that, they did pick up a Vlad's recently on somebody. There it is, the Treant Protector. So a little bit of extra sustain for the Slark, which is what they really need right now, and the Aghanims upgrade for June.
Yeah, so even though they sort of lost that fight and he had to buy back on the Slark, like, if they didn't get the Roshan there, that would have just been game losing, because if they could have just found a pick on Slark without him having a buyback before they got the Aegis, then the game would be over. So it's really good that, I'm assuming Slark has the Aegis. I'm actually not in the game right now. Does he have the Aegis? Or?
Slark has the Aegis. Okay. Cheese went on the Clockwork, who finished up his Ags, and Satanic is now on the Morphling as well.
And he replaced his, what did he replace?
The Clockwork?
Or the Morphling? He's facing out. Shotgun. He replaced your Shotgun.
Oh, yeah. So he's now just the pure right-click Morphling. Which, I don't know, do you replace any of these items for Scotty? I don't think you do. I mean, you can get a new BKB, but I don't think you actually replace BKB for a new item. I think it's probably too important for you to have right now.
If one of his teammates could manage to get a Lincoln Sphere, I think he might be able to give his up. But he would need, like, someone to be, like, putting one on him, and I don't think that's gonna happen. So I think having Lincoln Sphere is too big. Okay, he got another gem on Nyx. This is sort of like their timing, though. He has buyback, he has Boots of Travel, he has, so he can most likely come back to the fight even if he does die. He has a Satanic, so he has basically 3 lives. they should be looking to, well, make something happen. But the only problem is it's kind of awkward position or timing for them because the Slark has his Aegis, so both teams are just in this sort of awkward situation where they don't want to fight each other, but they both sort of need to.
Yeah. And you know, with the Morphling being maxed out here, you know, I think we gave so much credit to New Element and their late game, but they're now maxed out. It's 59 minutes in. They're maxed out in the Morphling, and they don't really have this commanding presence on the map. Like, right now, Inflame is about to pick up his Refresher. That is going to be a huge advantage for them up against this Morphling. If they manage to pick him off, oh, that silence. Not quite catching the Morphling in time as he jumps to his Replicate, but that would have been a huge pick off there if they've been able to force a buyback and then take a team fight off of that. The problem is them trying to push into New Element right now means they're going to be dealing with double Morphlings, and that is so tough. Like, even with the Aegis advantage that they have, it's not going to be enough, I feel. So they really need a pick off before they go in. But New Element are just not giving them that opening.
Yeah, they sort of just need to wait out for this Aegis. No Element does. I think if CIS had like one more hero that was sort of like a semi-carry or someone that could like scale a little bit better in the late game, they could just be content on like farming, and they could win this very easily if Slark just got way more items and they just farmed up. But because they have just a solo Slark, like they just need to worry about that hero and they can win the fights. And DK, like, he's at this awkward point in the game too, where he has a bunch of mid-game items, but he needs to have late-game items. So if he can get like I'm assuming it's a Daedalus. He just needs more damage, basically, so that he's taking enough right now that they don't focus him, but they can kind of ignore him almost. But if he can get like a Daedalus, then they can't really do that anymore.
Yeah, that's going to be your semi-carry that CIS is lacking. That New Element. Demons, oh man. I don't know, like that positioning, man. All he's got is a Force Staff, and yet he wandered all the way over here in order to get this ward down. I'm not quite sure if that was worth the risk, but either way, he does manage to get himself away, get that ward up, and again, just more possibilities for the pick-off potential. Hopefully the Courier doesn't get picked off here. Doesn't have anything important for CIS, but CIS.
Yeah, I wonder why it's hanging out there.
Oh, sort of. Cheeky gets silenced up now. Oh, Inflame. Maybe you don't want to make this jump right now. Echo Slam goes down, forced down into the console. Ice Blast will be able to finish off Inflame, and now Cheeky's going to focus solely on June. June fighting up against it, not going to be able to deal with that right-click damage. Blocked out by the Earthshaker as well, and Morphling just sits there and right-clicks him down. Inflame comes back into the team fight, though, with now the jump in, the silence, follow-up. Dodges the impale. AO to go down before he gets off anything. But now his opportunity to jump in, but he just cannot deal with Morphling. The right clicks are too strong. He's going to lose his Aegis here. And now the rest of New Element going to set out beyond. Great impale. He gets off the Dark Pact in time, but he's taking way too much damage. Shadow Dance and the leap away. He will get out, but he lost the Aegis, and they didn't gain much out of that whole entire team fight. Cheeky's going to be able to get himself back up to that tier 3 tower at top, and the bottom push does a minimal amount of damage to the tier 4s. It means that New Element are now in a great position to be able to force his, as the Morphling does have a buyback, and he's got that Boots of Travel. So they've got every single opening, I think, to be able to push down just this middle lane and take advantage of the fact that CIS have lost their big advantage, which was supposed to be that Aegis for the Slug.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, it's pretty evident how hard it is for Slark to fight against a Morphling and a DK. Like, he just can't even get in there, and that fight went horribly wrong from the beginning because they were focusing the DK. I mean, they don't really have a good target to focus, but I don't think they can go on the DK or the Morphling. They sort of almost need to, like, have the Slark go in on the AA and the Nyx and the Earthshaker and, like, sort of disrupt the fight without dying, and then sort of just pick them apart, because if they just focus like the DK or the Morphling, I think they're going to lose every fight. So, like, the Puck just kind of got a little overeager. He thought he picked someone off, but in reality they were all sort of right around there, and he got killed instead, and then instantly bought back, like you said. So
yeah, you cannot assume that you found a pick off up against New Element. They are doing way too good a job of staying grouped up. I think there are very, very few times where I've looked at it and been like, that should be a free pick off for CIS. And most of the time, it's like Morphling. Like, Morphling has been pushing out, and that's what you can do on a Morphling now. He's still been picked off occasionally due to the Puck silence, but he's now at a point where that's no longer, like, it's no longer an easy pick off for them. So he's, all they really have to do is just stay grouped up right now, make sure they don't get picked off, and they should be able to just 5-man down middle and win this. They are going to try a little bit of split pushing right now. Replicate is following his team as they 4-manning through the middle lane. Again, I'm really hoping to see CIS do what they did earlier. There's a limp and Illusion, both like they're playing a lot more carry this time around.
I think they realized the stake quickly into that right middle. Yeah. You know, it's not just auto follow like the guy middle. I don't think they actually. I don't know if they knew that Puck had his sheep when that hex went down on the Illusion. So maybe that's why they were doing that. But that's still just the kind of thing that you need to sort of keep in mind. Like they should have known at the very least that he was working towards it and to be cautious. But they were punished for that. But now they're doing a good job at recovering.
7.5k on the Dragonite right now. I'm expecting a Daedalus just like you are. And if he has that, that means he's now a significant source of damage.
He has the recipe already.
All right. I mean, that's still a small bit of extra damage. Obviously, can't really compare to a Daedalus, but...
Yeah, it looks like he just wants to focus on being like immortal, and I mean he still does plenty of damage, honestly, against anyone but Slurk. He'll beat them in a right-click fight.
Yeah.
So, I think that it's an okay item choice still. Plus, it's really good if they're like trying to push, or if he gets away from a fight and can just heal up and then come back. It'll make it basically weaker than a Daedalus, because he'll have more like if they focus him like they did last time and he survives, comes back like dark light seconds later, then he'll just have a bunch of life and he'll own. But Morphling also bought a nuke. So that's more of an important item pickup than the heart.
Yeah, that's huge. So maybe his next item choice is taking away that Linkus like we were talking about earlier, but for now he is fully 6 slotted and ready to brawl. Looks like they're going to 5-man down middle, and CIS aren't really going to be able to form a response here. They don't have the split push up in time. Black tries to run a little bit of interference, but it's going to take a very small amount of time for them to be able to take down this tier 3 tower. As the right clicks the Morphling just a little bit too strong. Black is going to start jumping in, pops that Shadow Dance very early on into the team fight, and he's trying to just lock down Shiki. They will be able to pick up the skills, but at the same time, the Morphling is being able to wipe out some of these heroes. He's trying to focus on Black right now. Echo Slam going off from Answer, but it actually doesn't do anything as he didn't get the blink off in time. Rocket was able to intercept that one, and Morphling having a hard time being able to lock down any one of these heroes. He's focused on the Slark, but now Slark has been able to heal back up, and Morphling is forced to jump away to his replicate. So 2 heroes go down for New Element, and CIS lose nothing there in the process. Dragonite did buy back, and CIS, that was just exactly what they needed there. It looks like they were able to disjoint a lot of the Morphling's damage, just kind of jump around, intercept a lot of that damage, make sure that he wasn't able to just shotgun down one person, right-click down one person real quickly. Can't say shotgun anymore, obviously, but... and just focus on some of those supports. Right? They killed the Dragonite despite the fact that he's super, super tanky. And the longer those team fights draw out, the stronger Black is, thanks to all that extra essence shift damage.
Roshan has fallen to the down.
Yeah, that's one of the weaknesses of the not having your shotgun anymore, is they can kind of pipe more around, because then Scotty is going to just not fight him, and like we said, work around him while killing off like the supports and the heroes. And that's what they needed to win this. They did not go to ages, so he's been down units of those, which I think he can win at this point. He's also getting to that, and where like we said earlier, he can watch like mid item, and now he's scaling up to MKV and Visible. So you think more? I would think it would be a butterfly. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, but I think it would be replace the Shadow Blade for a butterfly, or maybe the BK. Actually, you might almost no. He needs his BKB. He definitely needs his BKB. Maybe he rebuys his BKB first, but he also needs to keep buyback. So he has a lot of farming to do, but he's definitely not close to maxing out yet.
Yeah, that is one big advantage, is that Morphling will max out a lot earlier than you, and Slark still has a bit of room for growth here as a carry. And I do agree with you, taking away the Shadow Blade and putting in, like, as good as Shadow Blade is, even going into the late game for a Slark, because you get just all that extra regen. When you do go invisible, if you're not being seen, your ultimate starts kicking in, you start regenning up really quickly. I would still much rather see a butterfly, especially concerning the fact that this Morphling then cannot kill you. Like, it's just going to be straight up impossible because you don't have an MKB up on the Morphling. So that's going to be a significant factor. Daedalus was the pickup here by the Morph. So he is exchanging some of his items, and I do like the idea because he's now hitting like 1,000 damage criticals. He needs to be able to pop heroes a little bit faster than he did last fight.
This could be the game winner.
Yeah, they're going to be able to stun up Slark. Slark already getting very, very low. Gets off the Shadow Dance in time. Blocked out by the Fisher a little bit. Still focusing on Shiki. Meanwhile, Morphling is going to town. Will be able to finish off that Slark. Shiki is still low, but AO does not have the damage to be able to get that kill. And now the buyback coming out from the Clockwork, but cancels his Boots of Travel teleport into the middle lane. And last team fight went really well for CIS, but this time around, I don't know if the Daedalus just making a bit of a difference here for the Morphling, but Slark just could not withstand that onslaught damage.
He just had a DD and was so gung-ho.
Yeah.
He's like, I got DD, I'm gonna own. That's something that just happens. You get your like you just lose track of what's actually happening in the fight in your position because you have so much damage. I mean, he has a buyback up, so they're gonna force this out of him. Oh no. This is what you don't want to have happen, is have your other like heroes get picked off while you have buyback up. Yeah. Also, that fight, A landed a good ultimate on Slark, and that's one of the main reasons why they won, because he didn't heal at all when he got away.
They do have to constantly worry about this bottom push, but that is going to be a significant factor here, because if they lose a team fight, then immediately CIS will be in a position to jump into that bottom lane and start trying to see if they can end the game with a quick throw.
Yep, that's the advantage of Tree. This mid. Oh, yeah.
Not the pick off you're hoping for.
The other dragon. But yeah, this mid tower was at like, it would be dead right now if it wasn't for Tree. Like, he's healed it to full from like 10%, and that's just always disappointing to see. I mean, you know what's gonna happen. It's one of those things like you walk up to the base and you haven't been to the tower and it was at like 1 hit last time, and you go there and you look at it and it's at full. You always hope it's not like that, but it's always like that.
Yeah. That is honestly, like, I think we really need to get a stat of like building damage heals per game. Like once that is revealed and people realize like, oh hey, the towers are getting an extra 10,000 health because we just can't finish them off and Living Armor is always healing them back up to full. Maybe we should start banning out this tree. It's too much to deal with. Not unless you have like a really good concentrated push lineup. If you don't have that, then the towers are going to get just a ton of extra health.
Yeah, everyone was complaining how like Ponum and Tree, everyone from like the NA qualifiers was picking that hero because they're sort of just copying EG. It's kind of funny how everyone just sort of went onto that train at the same time. It's not like no one like knew what they had been doing for a long time, but people hadn't really been copying that yet. But like when the qualifier hit, everyone started doing it, and I think everyone just realized how insane Tree is. Like that hero, he's just weird. Like he just goes through these phases where people pick him like crazy, and then they just stop picking him. And it's not like people. It doesn't even really have anything to do with the fact that I mean, sometimes he gets nerfed, but they really want him to heal that tower. Black's just like spamming him. Looks like they're trying to just keep pressure on this. The throne, like you said.
Yeah, their only hope right now is a quick win, I think. It's just being able to take advantage. Like, I still think that New Element hold the stronger late game. The Morphling is just too damn strong. The Dragon Knight's getting bigger and bigger, and he has room for even more growth. So I think their only hope is just being able to take down this last tier 4, and then just be able to quickly burst down the throne. Whether it's off of some sort of bad team fight from New Element, or it's just some sort of like error in positioning and just not able to get back to the throne in time. Something like that is going to go off. AO jumps in right into all of these heroes and gets bursted down before he can even get off the overgrowth. And that was not the pickoff you were looking for. New Element find a free kill and now get a 5-man straight through the middle lane and see if they can finally finish off this tier 3 tower.
That was some awkward miscommunication. Like, there's a lot of spam pinging going on there.
Oh, it's flame! No! Great play coming out from Shiki, who gets the Dragon Tail onto the puck before he can even get off the silence. That was a great play from him, as he did see the puck coming in from the side, clicked that Dragon Tail, and even after the blink, was still able to get him. So there goes that Aegis, yet another advantage loss for CIS. But New Element looks like they're going to be backing up here. The Dragon Form is low on time, so I guess that kind of does make sense, and they have to be wary of this bottom push, but a little bit surprised they still did not finish out that tier 3 tower. I thought they had everything they needed.
I think, like you said, they were just worried about the Dragon Form running out, and without Dragon Form, their team fight is significantly weaker. Morphling has 10,000 gold. He's been like buying, he's just been sort of juggling items. Like I feel like having this item now, I'm gonna get this one. I'll be surprised if he doesn't replace another one soon. I think it is actually Lincoln's, but I don't know, we'll see. I think maybe Lincoln's for Scotty. I feel like he just doesn't like Scotty, but it could help him a lot with like the problem that he was having earlier. We were talking about like the way they lose the fight is if they can keep Morphling around, then like New Element can lose the fight. And if he gets separated from DK or like they just have a really awkward fight and he's by himself, he'll have trouble killing a lot of those heroes by himself.
Right. Oh, Jesus, he's got so much damn gold. He's got 12K right now. That is just unbelievable.
At this point, he's just padding his stats to look cool for the
for the end game.
Yeah.
For the end game, it's all about that GPM right now. He's still holding 700 gold per minute. Considering 74 minutes in, that's pretty impressive to hold that kind of GPM all the way
break
through.
Like 1,000 freaking last hits or something.
And what's he at right now? 808.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're getting to that point. Demons, I'm not quite so sure what he's doing right now, considering the fact he does not have a
teleport. Doesn't have a TP, yeah. He's a little afraid.
What are you doing, friend? What?
He was just warding, and then I think he realized how awkwardly positioned he was. He has 5,000 gold too. I don't know. I wonder what he's saving for.
I really think Aghanim's is a big upgrade going into late game. I just love that item so much. These team fights are going to be drawing out longer and longer, usually, as the game goes late. The team fights typically draw out longer, you have extended team fights, and even if it's on your own allies, they take a big advantage of it. Black gets caught by his stun, but good force that away. Now Inflame, he's going for that bottom push, man. He knows it's the only way to disrupt New Element's 5-manning right now. And they're going to start focusing. Glyph is being popped, and Inflame, he does have that Necronomicon. So it's probably going to force New Element back here. They can't afford it. Now June's going to jump in, realizing the opportunity that they have right now is to try and intercept some of New Element. Prevent them, just get a little bit of extra damage on that tier 4. And sure enough, it's now down below half health. Inflame will be able to get himself away. What a cheeky little bastard.
That was smart though. They recognized what they needed to do. Morphling, like, they just knew exactly what their plan was. As soon as he comes back, he doesn't even try and kill the puck. He just kills the Necro minions, he ignores the puck, and he made a replicate before he left so he could help.
The puck's still gonna get caught though. He gets caught by the spike carapace, now the stun up, and Inflame will be following and losing the gem on top of that. Which at this point isn't too huge, but it's just another small factor, and Roshan will be coming up soon.
This will be a huge DD if they can get it to the Morphling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he just saw it. Okay, he's just going to take it.
Yeah, doesn't want to risk it going to the Slark or anything else.
It's probably smart. They can still just use that, though. Like, they can just use the DK. I mean, DK still hits for 500, 400 damage, so I'm sure he doesn't care either. He's got 6,000 gold, too, so if they take a Rax, this game's pretty much over. And
CIS.
Off of this.
I don't know, do you try and like maybe use your Boots of Travels to go bottom? Do you try and force New Element back again?
I don't think they can at this point because they really need the puck to help them fight, and they know that if they see puck bottom, he'll have just box down there, so they can just like, oh, they're going in.
June jumping in, trying to just do stun up a little bit. Good caused action. Ice Blast's going to come in, but it's a little short as CIS get themselves back with the force staff. And now Inflamed once again going in for that tier 4. And oh my goodness, I can't believe this, but New Element may be forced back once again. The puck is playing a lot safer this time, just letting his Necronomicon minions do the work. But it's still more damage on the tier 4. It's going to go down soon here. New Element trying to commit a little bit more to the team fight. Morphling get a little bit low. It's going to be stunned up. Now decides to fight. He may fall here. He does have Replicate to jump to, but he won't be able to get it in time as he does fall. And now Shiki going on AO, but it's a small kill to get. They already lost the Morphling. He's going to fall as well. Now the buyback coming out from the Morphling. Instantly back into the team fight. Silenced up. He's already down to half health again. Overgrowth locking him in. Going Echo Slam. Answer gets a huge one. Locking down a ton of heroes. CIS trying to get away from it now. Good force staffs away. They lost a couple of heroes there, and they do not have their puck. who bought back earlier into the team fight, but I think they just won the team fight just enough to keep themselves alive, especially with this push coming in from the bottom lane. They took down the tier 4 earlier with Inflame, and that means the throne is exposed to all of these creeps. New element, they can't even take that goddamn tier 3. It's gonna be healed up again.
Yep. Well, Tree is dead right now, and he actually doesn't have buyback, but they're realizing their situation. Like, CIS is playing this perfectly. That was actually really unfortunate. I mean, it's hard to call someone out here, but that fight was saved just by answer, and Morphling almost lost him. Like, he bought back, came to the fight. He didn't use his BKB at all in that entire fight. So when he got rooted by the Tree, he should have instantly BKB'd. Instead, he's satanic. I don't know if that was a misclick, but
they can't give up Aegis. They can't give this up, but CIS, they're going to be able to get it in time. The supports won't be able to get there. So they get the Aegis, they get the cheese. Once again, Black takes no part in either item.
I think that almost Aegis at this point is more valuable to him than like an SNY. Like, I know he loves his SNY, but I think that the extra life would be very valuable. Because he could be just way more aggressive and...
well, he does still have a buyback, so...
That's true. But he doesn't have boots of travel, so buyback is... it might be less useful. I mean, I suppose as long as he dies near his base, it doesn't matter.
See, I was waiting for this for a long time. Morphling finally starts pushing out that bottom lane. They're going to catch out demons here, and that's a good kill to have. I mean, just anything off is going to be worth it, but...
Get cheese, too.
Yeah, cheese as well as the wheat now. He does not have a buyback. Oh, man, he bought back not too long ago, too. So he won't be part of this next team fight. His new element once again going in. They have to be careful, though. We saw how quickly Morphling was getting bursted down by some of this magic damage, and with the Daggons coming up, he's going to be seriously threatened. Cogs goes out for a snap away. June.
They're just trapped in there. That was interesting engage.
Yeah, just holding them, just delaying them at this point in time. Oh, Black! He gets off the Dark Pact in time, not going to be held in. Shadow Dance, good stun coming out from the Impale, his new element. Focus on some of the damage in the pack. They need to start going uphill soon because that bottom push...
He saw it.
It's building up. Oh, yeah.
Because if he hit him with that, it still would just delayed his healing time.
Yeah. Finally, the tier 3 does go down. New element are going to be able to take a melee Rax here. Doesn't look like CIS are going to try and take this fight, at least not yet. Black jumping in onto the Morphling, trying to hold him in place. Void form being used. Impale goes out. Black, he's going to get bursted down. He does have a buyback. Overgrowth is holding in the Morphling. Morphling is going to be taken down. Answer's going to be in trouble as well. Good for snap down the clip. And the rest of New Element. Get back to the base. Black, oh, he was looking for that bash. He was looking for the Abyssal proc. June also tries to blind throw out a hook shot, but he could not land it. And Morphling
to push out bot.
Yeah, Morphling's down for 2.5 minutes here. CIS, they can be the aggressors. They may be able to end this game. They're gonna have to deal with a very, very farmed Dragonite and a couple of supports, but I think they have enough just to be able to 5-man down mid and take this run.
Yeah, DK has a, oh my gosh, he has a rapier coming in. He needs to not get this courier picked off.
Oh, that is huge.
2 BKBs on the courier.
What?
One of them's 8 seconds, which he replaced his 8-second BKB. This is amazing. This game is ridiculous. There's a Dagon on Earthshaker. I don't know what's going on. This is going to be the fight for the ages, though. Here they come. They're going to go in through, looks like mid, and then try and just take it before Morphling respawns. They have 60 seconds. They need to win this because Morphling will have buyback.
82 minutes in. The jump in for the Dragonite with the Ice Blast on top of it. They're going to try and go finish off AO real quickly. Shallgrave is up on him, but he should take out anyway. Dragonite's going to continue to focus on Black where he can, but he's just being kited around. June right up in his face. He's tanky enough to be able to take this damage. Hook shot holding him in place even further. Answer's going to be silenced up a little bit. Good Impale coming out on the backside as another Shallgrave will be able to save Inflame 4 snap away, and this time he should be able to live through it. And June held in by Answer, but he can't get too close. Battery Assault's going to lock him in a little bit, and he will be able to catch up to him. Running into the creeps, Answer should still fall. Good Impale coming out. At the same time, we are losing some of our bases. Black is focusing on the tier 3. He already took that down, going on the Rags now, and just simply backs away. He doesn't have too much backup here. So it's probably worth it for them just to take this range Rax and back away. Morphling's going to be up in 10 seconds. June comes back from his Aegis. Still going to fall here, 4 snap away. They're going to lose their Nyx Assassin on the side. And now Black, he's going for the Dragonite. He's going to be able to actually pick up this kill. Ice Blast, Divine's on the ground. They pick it up. June, get away. He's got 4 seconds for a shotgun, or for his hook shot. He's trying to get away. Morphling's coming in, trying to teleport, but he's not going to make it. Divine is now going to be picked up by the Morphling.
World.
themselves. Like Maple almost
Radiant's
loses his life to the
Ancient is
creeps
under
there
attack.
in the process, and Shiki now comes back in for his divine. I can't believe it, but New Element finally are going to be able to, they survived the storm, right? CIS, we're looking to be able to end the game now. New Element, it's their turn to be the aggressors once again, and Slurk doesn't have a buyback. I don't think CIS can do this. I think it all came down to that last team fight.
I don't think they're out of it net just yet. They still, if they can just do what they just did and did a good job at like holding them off, the supports are sacrificing themselves, like they're chasing Morphling down. Morphling's buyback will be up, though. That's the bigger problem. Like they might be able to hold them off until the Slark respawns, but then Slark will have no buyback and Morphling will have buyback. So if they just go insanely aggressive, they need to kill this guy.
Yeah, they need to use the refresher on Inflame in order to lock down this Morphling as much as possible. Jump to the orb, trying to get close enough. There goes one of them. Now being held in by the side device. Inflame does have a refresher to use if he wants to. Silence goes out. BKB activated. Now June's going to die. He might be able to hook shot himself away. Good for Snap. There goes the shallow grave, helping him out just a little bit. And they do disengage. Nicely done. They're not going to lose. Well, they may lose AO here if they have any vision for it. But they don't. They have no vision on them right now. It's just too late for the game. Demons may get caught out here. Shalgrave does go off, and he might be able to slow him down with a 4-stab. Good set of cogs coming out from June. And CIS, man, they're just kiting around these heroes. They're just delaying the game as much as possible, and it's working out brilliantly in 25 seconds. Oh no, Inflame. He's able to dodge the stun there. They're going to start pushing in. Oh, popping down the Nyx assassin. Inflame's going to lose his life, though, as the Morphling comes back in. Now right-clicking June. Good set of cogs once again. And Morphling,
Radiant's
they have to
Ancient
jump to his
is
replicate. Oh,
under
Clockwork
attack.
jumps in. He's going for the throne. It's getting low. Necro minions, they're forcing it down. Morphling, he's got to come in here and clean up his minions. It's getting low.
Radiant's
1,000
Ancient
health.
is under attack.
Clockwork backing away. Popping his BKB, trying to get out. They have to protect this throne better, man. They're just losing it. The creeps are, next set of creeps are coming in. Morphling, you've got to provide some interception here. It's now down to 630 health. New Element have to play the defense here instead of actually trying to be the aggressors, despite the fact that Slark does not have that buyback that we talked about.
I don't know if they can win more. They don't have more now. They just need to like get 5 and just sort of Rambo at it. Like if they have the fort time taken, which they should, then they can just go for the throne and they can't stop them actually, as long as they spread out and do it like correctly. I mean, they can't always like walk in a single file line at the throne, but if they can push in and just sort of get there, they need to get these lanes really pushed out. They need to get like vision up so they don't get backdoored, and they can't really go for, like they can't just go for the throne. They have to wipe their team while also protecting their throne. So like I said before though, I mean Slark almost has buyback again because they did such a good job at delaying them and like drawing that fight out up top, and like everyone was just sort of chasing everyone around. So CIS did a really good job at just taking the attention away from their base and putting it on their heroes, because their heroes are like disposable right now. They don't care about their heroes, they care about their buildings. Yeah, they were just sort of distracting them with their heroes while they needed to be killing the base, and they did a great job of it. Morphling has a rapier now. I don't even know what's happening anymore. This is just crazy.
Oh Jesus, that is like with the Daedalus and just all the agility he's morphed into, he has the opportunity. You get just like a couple of right clicks on the Slark, that guy's going down, right? And that's your main source of damage right now. But
on fort, they really need the fort.
Yeah.
So if they can like hold them until, which it looks like they're not pushing. Are they checking Roshigun or something?
I think they may want to try and just control the map and wait for Roshan.
I don't know if they want to do that.
That is risky.
I don't think they can win like fights. They're not winning fights at this point. They need to get the building. But
at the same time, they may be counting on that Roshan fight as being like one of those sort of situations where if they extend themselves into the Roche pit, we might be able to teleport in and take that throne. And if they don't move out of their base, then we get a free Aegis and cheese.
This Morphling is having like an identity crisis. He just doesn't know what he wants. He's just buying so many different items. I'm surprised he hasn't replaced Lincolns. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, he does need it for sheeps and stuff though, so it's hard. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like if he could have, one of his teammates could have like afforded a Lincolns by now, and they could just be giving it to him.
Let's get another.
He's just a tank and owns with his rapier. If he can get a Daedalus, like that'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, then he's got that splash critical with all that damage. At the same time, though, the potential for this Morphling just to be popped so quickly. I mean, you look at Inflame, right? Just his set of abilities alone is enough to threaten the Morphling. Like, if he actually gets the stuns out in time, like if he daggons to intercept the Linkens, Scythe of Ice up the Morphling, throws down all of his damaging abilities, and then refreshers and keeps that Morphling Scythe of Ice. Yeah, he could easily soul him real quickly when he's maxed agility like this.
So, I mean, I've been proven wrong, man. This puck is apparently a late game hero.
Well, I guess any hero, when you get Dagon, Scythe of Ice, and a refresher, is going to be a significant factor. Honestly, like his items are more important than any of his abilities at this point. New element. I can't believe they managed to actually take this map control, but they managed to push out both middle and bottom all the way without anybody getting picked off.
Yeah, that was very important. But this puck is still just like right on their doorstep. You see? Oh, we didn't see those. He doesn't have a replica backup base either, though. So if they can like cancel, he doesn't have TP up either, because he just TP back to defend. So the puck can just go for it.
Yeah, but at the same time, they could teleport. You got to be aware of those boosts of travel. CIS could just like 5-man into the enemy base real quickly. If New Element overextend themselves, hook shot, trying to snag somebody on the retreat.
Yeah, I think that was their plan. They just sort of failed. They wanted to catch someone with hook shot that was TPing back, and then just have like the puck go for the throne with his necro.
And once again, puck pushing in that bottom lane for the umpteenth time. And will be retaining a little bit more map control. The New Element, oh nice, they get the double stun. Inflame's gonna be picked off in the process. Black still ticking down from that Ice Blast that landed earlier. He's gonna have to back away, and that was huge. They stopped the split pusher, man. That's like killing a Furia at this point.
Yeah, that is what they need to do. That's what like their main focus should be this whole time with the like. They don't even need the Morphling or the DK to kill the puck. Honestly, if they can catch him with like Nyx, because he doesn't have a gem. I mean, he does have a Necro book, but he doesn't have any like detection besides that. They just need to be trying to pick him off, and if they can pick that guy off, like that's how they win the game. Because he's the big problem for them with split push. I mean, Inflame has done an amazing job so far at applying pressure consistently to like every lane without dying. For like that hero, he's just done an amazing job.
Oh man,
some of his couriers got off into where looks.
Oh no, those are boots of travel for Black. I was just looking at him and going, all right, he just sold this other item. He's gonna have boots of travel coming in. That was his boots. He had to go back and buy TP scroll. And he can't afford another boots of travels. Like he has to have that buyback. So June
is gonna buy some more basic boots.
Oh, Black.
Dyer's middle barracks
They're
are
getting
under
a little
attack.
too close. A little too close for comfort right now.
All right, DK is gonna like solo rush on real quick with his rapier.
Oh Jesus. We're 91 minutes into this game.
Yeah, and it's still like so nail biting close. Like this is a great game.
I keep looking at the golden experience, but it just doesn't matter. It really
doesn't at all at this point. No.
It's buybacks. Like that's the biggest thing that matters at this point in time, is having that buyback.
They can get there in time.
I don't think they can either. They're doing way too much damage.
They have the Morphling.
They don't even know. Double damage. Oh god.
But they're not like they don't. The Clockwork has 5 seconds left on his rocket. It's gonna be dead before he has a chance to check it.
Roshan has fallen to the
Age is gonna go the way of the Nyx Assassin, while the cheese is picked up by the Earthshaker. But more importantly, I feel double damage on the Morphling.
Yeah, you know a game is ridiculous when like you're getting to the point where the carries are no longer taking Aegises and cheeses because they like have buybacks and bots and they just don't need them. You just crit for 2,000. So I don't know, put that in your compendium. I don't know.
Oh man. I have actually the compendium. I put a really high critical, but that's because I think we're gonna see a Phantom Assassin, not because I imagine we're gonna see a Morphling with double damage, rapier, and Daedalus.
Yeah.
2100.
Is he gonna go buy his second rapier now? Might as well just replace your freaking like butterfly. Just go full 0 attack speed, and I mean he still has plenty of attack speed, but I don't know. This is just ridiculous. They're just too afraid to push up because they don't want to like lose their base. I mean their throne is healing now, so they're like even though it's really weird to think about, like them delaying it like this has just given them more time, because if they can get their throne back up to like full HP, then they don't have to be quite as worried about like getting rushed down by just a puck with a necro book. So I think they have the right idea right now. They're looking for this puck. They have a general idea where he is. Okay, well, that's not quite where he is, but if they can find him right here, this will be huge.
Yeah, Puck is playing this really smart though, hugging the side of the trees as much as possible. We need that side ward. We need that side ward to be placed because he's just summoning Necro minions and throwing them out. What do you think they changed? Oh, he got him! Answer! He stopped the teleport in flame. He's gonna have to use a coordination of his orbs, blinks, and everything else.
Oh no. He just refreshed.
Oh, he just refreshed.
He's going bot now. That's insane. That was just, I mean, that's just blind luck. But I mean, his teammate was pinging out for him, and that was amazing.
No. That could have been such a huge pickoff for them. Because in flame,
he didn't have buyback.
Yeah, he didn't have buyback. Exactly. He didn't have enough gold at this point in time. And now with that refresher, he's actually going to get a pretty good use out of the refresher because he teleported to the bottom lane and summoned a fresh thing of Necronomicon minions. So that lane's going to be pushed in. And once again, that's going to be a threat that new element have to address here. They have no other choice.
The problem is, oddly enough, the Morphling actually is having a harder time dealing with this Necro split push now because he got rid of his Satanic. Like before, he could kill the minions and not care, but now he doesn't have lifesteal. So if he kills them, he's at half HP and he can't go back to the fight.
Yeah, he has no sustain. So he does still have the
regretting that Rapier purchase a little bit, even though he does insane amount of damage now. What's this DK doing with all his money?
I keep looking for these supports. That's kind of the downside for me for New Element is that these supports have yet to pick up. Like, if only they could share the gold that Morphling had, if they could pick up 3 different Lincoln Spheres for the 3 other supports and just constantly spam that out on the Morphling, then I think you could have that Satanic like we were talking about earlier. Replace the Lincolns you have on the Morphling with just constantly having a support follow you and apply that Lincolns onto you, but they just don't have the gold.
Okay, Black does have his bots now, obviously the carry respawn, so he's able to split push a little more aggressively. More players looking for him.
Yeah, he's willing to make a trade if he can, the top racks in exchange for the middle racks. Because obviously that's a huge advantage. It's super creeps and mid in exchange for mega creeps on all lanes for you. So if he can afford to make that kind of trade, he's gonna go for it.
Caught out.
Yep, June's gonna be stunned up, 4 staff though. And will be able to get himself away.
A blink dagger on A now, of course. He has a blink and a sheep.
Yep. Man, this is such a tense game. June's jumping in once again, trying to intercept the Dragonite as much as possible, but Shiki's just getting little bits of damage here and there. The Dragon Form is going to wear out for him though, and he needs to be able to back away. Scythe of Ice caught him out though, and June does have another hook shot to be able to intercept him if he tries to go for a teleport here. BKB is popped. Nyx Assassin is going to be the first casualty, and he does have the Aegis. June goes forward, still going on Shiki to teleport in though. Morphling's coming in, he's going to just wipe out June real quickly. Overgrowth being used, good 4-staff usage, and the Morphling jumps right back to the base.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
That might have been a misclick.
I think he had a good opportunity there. Oh no! Shiki's gonna get it picked off, now forced back as well. He's gonna go down here. The Morphling jumping away. Oh, big Echo Slam. They might just get a return kill there. Juke is kept alive. The Divine's on the ground though. Answer trying to get himself away, but he's not going to make it. And everybody was kept alive. Clockwork just barely.
On the ground.
Thanks to a big shallow grave. Trade protector.
For 500 damage now, of course. Makes sense.
Oh man. Earthshaker, he doesn't have a buyback. I mean, he's obviously not the most critical hero in the world. He already used his Echo Slam, but that's just one extra disabled that will not be there.
DK doesn't really do damage anymore.
Yep, they're going to jump in at Black. They're going to blow him up real quickly. Good execution there from New Element.
Bots. They need to be like.
Oh, look at Inflame. Look at Inflame.
Just going for the fucking base.
He's got a refresher. Necro. They're going to teleport in. They're going for it. Right click. There goes the refresher. Look at the Rapier go. Already glyph being used, but the rest of the team trying to force their way back. Morphling is trying to replicate. He will be able to jump back to the base, but it's going to be a significant amount of damage onto the racks, and in exchange, they're going to lose their Nyx Assassin here.
Oh no, tree.
Ooh, yeah. Don't want it to lose that Divine. Good blink away in time. Nyx Assassin did fall on the side there because the Morphling had to jump back to base. That was still good prepared. That was very, very